Welcome, 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 everyone. I am super excited. Welcome to how to finally make passive income on Instagram, even if you have a small following. So, this is going to be streaming on YouTube. I'm going to have this everywhere. So, make sure that you guys are commenting, dropping those engaging responses in the comments. This is going to help more people to see the video. This is going to help your girl out. Okay. So for the next 30 to 60 minutes, I'm going all the way in. And in return, that's what I'm asking for. Okay. So tell me where you're tuning in from. I want to know where my people are in the world. Also, if you are new to me, meaning you have never been on one of my trainings before, maybe you have bounced up on me on Instagram, maybe you just happen to see some of the advertisements about this training, go ahead and put hashtag new in the comments. I am going to come back. I am going to be speaking with you guys in the comments. So again, make sure you are responding to me. That is how you're going to get the most from this training. Okay. Also, if you have been on my trainings before, you've been in my world before, maybe you're in my Facebook community, maybe you're following me on social media, I want you to put hashtag veteran. All right. I want to see where my people are at. And for my veterans, thank you for being here. Right. If you have ever learned something from me, go ahead and put that in the comments too. Let our new people know that the next 30 to 60 minutes is not going to be a waste of their time. So if you are someone who wants to be able to start earning passive income on Instagram, this training is going to teach you exactly how to do that. Okay. So if you're new to me, you can go ahead and read the screen. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all the accolades. You'll learn more about me as I continue to go through this training, but definitely take a screenshot of this because I love to connect with people. And I want you to understand that you are not learning from someone who has not been through this process. Okay. I help entrepreneurs like yourself monetize online so you can achieve the freedom and flexibility you desire. My name is Neala Thorpe. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, full time since 2009. I have been working on this system for a very long time, and I'm going to share with you that system today. This is the same system that I have used to teach thousands of women over the years to create passive income. Okay. So even if you feel like, I'm not a techie, I don't know if I'm ready to learn about systems, I want you to, sigh, just put out that sigh of relief right now because you do not need complicated funnels or any type of advanced tools to implement the system that I'm going to share with you today. Now, maybe you feel like, well, Niala, is this going to work because my audience is small? Man, take that out of your head. That's the reason why, whenever you come to these trainings, you always see people talk about, oh, how can you grow your Instagram? How can you post more reels? How can you make all this money? And I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about what most people don't talk about, which is how could you start converting right now? Because you don't need thousands of followers to start making money. As a matter of fact, if you have at least 100 people following you on any of these platforms, you could be monetizing. If you have at least 100 people on your email list, you could be advertising, right? You don't need a lot of followers. You just need the right systems. Now, maybe you're someone and you're feeling like, listen, I've heard all of this before. I have tried some of this stuff. Maybe you've invested, but I haven't gotten any results. I want you to know that the problem isn't you. It is the strategy that you are using. Okay. And that is exactly why this training is so important because the silent success system doesn't require any of these things. No fancy tools, no huge pages. You don't need that, or even to spend hours online. I'm going to break it down for you step by step today. Okay. So I want you to tell me in the comments which one are you. These are the three types of people who I love to help and who gets so much value from my training. So, are you the transitioner? Are you the transitioner? This is a person who you're done with the 9 to 5 grind, but you're not sure what's next. Maybe you desire more freedom, more flexibility in your day to day, but you're afraid of starting over. You've been around the block, right? You don't want to hustle. You don't want to start a business that's going to be harder than your corporate job. You just want a system. You don't want to be overwhelmed by all the conflicting advice, all the courses, all the coaches. You just want a system that you can rely on, a proven path to earn money online that feels achievable. If that's you, I want you to go ahead and put transitioner in the comments. Okay. Now tell me if this is you, the tried and the tired. Okay. And when I'm telling you that me, a little bit of me is in all three of these. Okay. But tell me if you are the tried and the tired, meaning you've tried building businesses before. Maybe you've had, side hustles before, but it has always felt like if you can't get over the hurdles, right? Or like it's a full time job without a paycheck. You want to be able to have sustainable income, but you do not want to burn out in the process. You want a system that doesn't rely on you working around the clock because you have been there and you have done that. And when you hear my story, you'll know exactly like you and I, we're about to be connected, okay, for life. Because the burnout from the hustle culture advice, all of it, it's just tiring and you're done with that. If that's you, go ahead and put tried and tired in the comments, okay? And this is my last person. Let me know if this is you. You're the dream builder. All right. You know that you want more and you're ready to start building it. You desire clear, actionable steps so you can get started. The momentum is there. You're ready to rock and roll. You have the ability to work on your business part time while, working your 9 to 5 for now. And you don't want to be confused with all the options either. You just want a roadmap to build something flexible and scalable. You're okay with starting small. You just want to start now. If that's you, go ahead and put dream builder in the comments because either way, you are in the right place. Okay. So let me tell you if you are positioned to be able to implement what I'm about to share. Number one, you got to have an IG page. So if you have an IG page and you want to start, converting your following right now, then this is going to be good for you. If you want to start making sales consistently without feeling pressured to post constantly, this is going to be good for you. The system is going to fix that right up for you. If you want to stop stressing over algorithms and focus on what works, again, this is going to be good for you. And if you want a system that lets you to grow, that allows you to grow without feeling overwhelmed, this is going to be great for you. And if you want to wake up to passive income sales without chasing engagement all day, this is also going to be a great system for you. Okay, and as I'm saying this, I have another one. If you already have a product to sell, maybe you have a digital product or a course or some type of service, maybe you are reselling a course or you're in affiliate marketing, it does not matter. It doesn't matter what you're selling. The system that I'm going to share with you, you are going to be able to start getting consistent passive income sales with this system, no matter what you're selling. Okay. So if you're ready to implement a simple, proven system that works, go ahead and comment ready in the chat. All right. Now, who is this not for? This is not for you if you think this is going to be some sort of magic pill that requires no work on your part. As a matter of fact, I cannot stand that type of messaging. The people who say, oh, well, just come and do this for 30 minutes a day and you're going to make 6 figures a month. If you believe that stuff, this ain't the place for you. All right. But if you want the system, you're going to get it. If you want the steps, you're going to get it. And if you want the opportunity to get support in implementing what I'm going to be speaking about, you're going to get that too. Okay. If you are someone who don't commit or go all the way in when you see a great opportunity, this is not for you, right? Not that I can't help you, not that you won't get something and get value from this presentation, but the reality is that you're going to have to check that mindset before you're going to get where you're trying to go. Because the one thing about people who get where they're going is they are fast action takers. They see an opportunity, they make a decision, and they're committed in the process. And you're going to need that if you want what I'm going to share with you over the next 30 to 60 minutes to actually create results for you, for your business, and for your life. Okay. And if you have a problem with me giving an offer at the end to be able to help people who are ready to move to the next step, this is not for you, right? Because, hey, we're in business. We're in business to serve and support people. We're in business to change our lives. And if you're not okay with hearing how I can help those who are ready, then how are you going to be, out here telling people, hey, I can help you too? So if you have a problem with that, this is not for you. But here's what I have to say. No matter what, whether you decide to work with me, whether you decide to join us in my course, SSB, which I'll be talking about at the end, it doesn't matter. You're totally going to get something from this training. I will not waste your time. So here's what I got for you. I want to make a deal. If you stay until the end, I promise to deliver actionable value. Okay. value that you can implement right away. And as a bonus for staying till the end, I'm going to give you an exclusive AI prompt that I created to help audit your content in real time. So you can see where you might be missing based on what we're going to be talking about today. So not only am I going to teach you how could you start converting your small audience now, how can you start making those passive income sales now, but you're going to use this AI prompt to start auditing your content that you already have on your page so you can start making these changes right now. In return, I ask you that you give me your full attention because this could be the game changer that you are looking for. All right, so here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to build trust and demand even with a small audience. You're going to learn the content system that creates conversions effortlessly. And I'm also going to share with you how to automate your sales and generate income while you sleep. So by the end of this webinar, you are going to have a clear path to passive income that you can start implementing right away. All right, so let me just share with you a little bit about my story from hustle to freedom. So I did not just wake up one day and create a passive income system out of thin air. As a matter of fact, it came from years. When I say years, I mean years of trial, of failure, successes, late nights, crying in the corner, right? Launching and not getting sales, just doing all the things to figure out how to work smarter and not harder. So for years, I have been building my thought leadership. I was traveling for speaking engagements, running summits, doing sales calls, coaching, producing a steady stream of content across all platforms. And on the outside, it looked like I had everything figured out because I was making money. I was growing my brand. I was rubbing shoulders with the giants, right? But behind the scenes, I was exhausted. I had built a business that depended on me constantly being on. And then a few weeks after the pandemic hit, everything changed. I was diagnosed with cancer. And in an instant, my entire life and business had to pause. Now, during my treatment, I physically couldn't work like I did before. And I came face to face with a tough truth that my business model wasn't sustainable if I always had to be on. But through everything that I was experiencing, there was a glimpse of hope because the digital product systems that I had in place, they kept making money. This same year, guys, while I was experiencing all of this, my daughter graduated high school and started college. This same year, my son had to be put in boarding school because I needed that time to focus on my health. And you know what kept me and my family afloat? Digital product funnels. And the crazy thing about it is up until this point, I wasn't even paying attention to digital products, right? So anybody who knows me, for my people who's here, my veterans, go ahead and just put a number 1 in the comments, right? And just confirm what I'm getting ready to say. But I am known as a high ticket coach on these internet streets, right? And so I have always done active marketing, from speaking, from, training, webinars, all the things that I'm doing, like even right now, doing this type of stuff all the time. However, I've been selling digital products since I started my career over a decade ago. But the way I was selling it would be like, on a Labor Day, or, maybe it's Black Friday, I'm going to go ahead and make a sale and sell these digital products. But I didn't actually do this consistently, right? So it wasn't until I got sick that I realized that, OMG, why wasn't I putting time on this? And I remember the promise that I made to myself that if I survived this, and trust, I was determined to, I wasn't going to go back to the old grind. This experience taught me something profound, that I needed more freedom and flexibility built into my business and my life. And so maybe you are in this position right now. Just go ahead and put a ready in the comments if you're ready. If you are in this position right now, maybe it's a job that you're looking to get rid of at this point. Maybe it's parents that you want to retire. Maybe you, just like me, you had some children that's getting ready to go to college, or you want to put in private schools. Or maybe it's just the uncertainty of the world that we're living in right now, and you want to be able to control your finances. Well, that is where I was, right? And so when I came back to work, I took everything that I learned, my 20 years of business experience, my coaching experience, all the trial and error, and I turned it into a system. And this isn't new. This is tested, refined, and proven. This is a system that allows you to grow a business, sell digital products, and create passive income without the hustle. And not only does it work for me, but I have taught this to thousands of women. I have designed this system for entrepreneurs just like you who are tired of the cycle and want to smarter way. So if you've ever felt like you've been working too hard and seeing, too little of results, or if you feel like, man, I wish I could take a break, or if you feel like, man, there are things that I want to do, I'm getting ready to get to retirement age, and there's things that I want to do with my life, and I don't know which way to go, I want you to know that there is a way, and I'm going to show you today. After implementing this system, I went from inconsistent results to passive income every month. And the best part is I was able to do this without burning out or spending hours on Instagram every day. So now that you know a little bit about me, you know how the silent success system is born. I'm going to give you a quick bird's eye view of the system, and then we're going to start digging into these steps, one step by step. You need to start taking notes right now, okay? So this is the silent success system. This is the 3-step framework that allows you to earn passive income so you can work less and live more. All right. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing in its entirety, else I will not be here for 30 or 60 minutes. I will be here forever. But we are going to dig deep into the one part that's going to allow you to start making sales, even if you have a small following. So this is 3 phases. You're going to set up a strategic foundation that is defined. Okay. Then develop. This is all about creating and monetizing your digital products. And then deploy. This is all about automating, scaling, and generating passive income. So this is the full system that takes you from hustle and frustration to earning passive income effortlessly. And like I said, today we're going to focus on one key part of this system that lets you start to make sales even if you have a small following. So let's jump into step number 1, secret number 1. So the first secret is building trust. This is the foundation of selling, especially when you have a small audience. So I want you to think about it. Would you rather buy from a stranger, right, who randomly shows up in your DMs? Probably not. You're probably getting those salesy DMs all the time. It doesn't feel good, and you don't want to be that person, right? But if you consistently see someone who's providing value, who's engaging with you, who's showing up authentically, guess what? You start to trust them. And when you trust someone, buying from them feels easy. And so the mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is assuming that if they just post enough, people will eventually buy. But posting alone doesn't build trust. It's what you post, right? And it's how you say it that makes the difference. That is where my magnetic messaging method comes in. Without it, you are just another voice lost in the noise. But with it, you become the authority that people trust and buy from. So let's take a look at what happens when you do not have magnetic messaging in place. If you don't have magnetic messaging in place, the first thing is your message feels generic. And I want you to just put a yes in the matter of fact, put me in the comments if this is you. I want you to know that you're in a safe space here. Okay. Every time I tell you to raise your hand, put yes, put me, put ready, it's for me to engage you. It's for me to call you to action, because you cannot fix anything that you're not willing to take a look at. Right. So the first things first is your message feels generic. Right? You're probably using copy and paste templates, these done for you templates that I see all over the place. While even in SSB, we give our students templates, but we show you how to use our strategies and our frameworks to make it yours. You should never be copying and pasting templates, right? It's too generic. It's too common. Another thing is you end up sounding just like everyone else, which makes it hard for people to connect with you. Another thing is that you're talking to your audience instead of speaking with them, speaking of them. And I'm going to tell you what that looks like. It looks like you're posting, but there's no engagement, right? Because your content isn't hitting the right emotions. When you speak of your people and with your people, you connect emotionally. Another thing is you're probably not answering the real problems your audience has, so they keep scrolling. And again, I am talking about this because in order for you to fix it, you have to realize where the gaps are. If you're consistently posting every day and nobody's reaching out, nobody's checking for you, that is an indication that the content isn't connecting. It's not that you need more followers. It's not that you need to post more. It's that you need the magnetic messaging that's going to develop the trust that a person needs to have if they're going to buy from you. Another thing, your audience is not seeing you as an authority. And this is a big one, because if your message isn't clear, then people aren't going to recognize that you have the solution that they are looking for. And so that could look like, even you're probably even getting likes, right? So people are liking, but they're not asking, how can I buy your course? How can I buy your product? How can I work with you? And if that's happening, that is an indication that you have to work on your messaging. All right. And lastly, without magnetic messaging, another thing is your sales funnel. It feels forced instead of natural. And when it feels forced, right, a lot of times that's why the sales is not coming. So you finally build up the courage that you're going to sell. But then when you put these posts out, it's like you feel awkward, right? You feel like, it didn't like, and I want you to be honest. Just put a me in the comments, because a lot of times when we do this, even me still, and I'm really good at this, but even sometimes when I post something and I know like it's just not hitting, you could feel it, right? So put a me in the comments if you've ever felt it. If this is happening, it's because your audience hasn't been nurtured properly, and so they're not primed to buy. And this is often the reality when you try to start selling without actually building trust first. It leads to frustration, it leads to inconsistency, and it leads to that feeling of, why isn't this working for me? So now let's talk about what happens when you do have the magnetic messaging method. I want you to imagine having a messaging strategy that actually connects with your audience on a deep level. Here's what happens when you get this right. Number one, you become the go-to authority in your niche. Your audience starts to look forward to your content, and they start to see you as a trusted expert rather than just another Instagram account. Your content starts conversations that leads to sales, all right? People feel like you're speaking to them directly, and that naturally starts to increase, right? And so instead of just liking and leaving, people will start to DM, people will start to ask questions, people will start to respond to your stories, right? Another thing is, you don't have to sell as hard when this is done right. People literally start coming to you. So instead of chasing sales, they start reaching out to you first, because your audience already sees the value. So saying yes to your offer feels very natural. So all the time, and this happens at least once a week, where I have someone that will be responding to my stories and they're like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I was thinking. Oh, so how can I get this? How can I download this? And it's just a story, right? You would think that you have to do so much more, but you really don't when you have the magnetic messaging in place. Another thing is that your sales start to happen more consistently, right? Because there's no more guessing about why your stuff isn't working. You have a clear message that is consistently attracting and converting the right people. This is the power of messaging that builds trust. Okay, so let me illustrate this in a quick story in a way that will make it click for you. Okay, so let's just say you open a new restaurant and you know you got great food. You could throw it down in the kitchen and you're excited to serve people. But there's just one problem: nobody is coming in, right? So what do? Naturally, you go outside and you're like, I got the best food in town. AKA, this is you posting more, okay? You start posting flyers everywhere, hoping that people will notice. You lower your prices, thinking maybe that's going to be the issue, but still nobody's coming in. Why? Because people don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't know if your food is good. They don't know if your kitchen is clean. If you know, right? They don't know if it's worth their time and money, and they don't have a reason to choose your restaurant over the 20 other restaurants that's in the community. So now you're like, okay, I got to try a different approach. And so instead of you yelling, you decide to come out and start offering some samples of food from your restaurant. This is what I call value-based content, okay? And you let people start tasting the food. So now they're experiencing the food, they're experiencing the flavors, and they start to see why they should be coming to this restaurant, why they need to order. You get people talking about how good the food is. Ding, 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 that's social proof. So now, when they start telling their friends, the word spreads, more people start coming in, not because you begged them to, but because they now trust that you have the food that everybody wants to eat. And your brand works the exact same way. If your audience doesn't trust you, they're not going to walk through your doors, AKA buy your products. But if you give them the value, if you create that connection, if you position yourself as that authority, and if you build that trust, the sales become effortless. Okay, so now I want to do a truth test before we move on to secret number 2. I want you to take 10 seconds to look at your last few posts. And I want you to imagine that a new follower lands on your page right now. Can they immediately tell what you do and what you're selling? Do they feel like you get them? Would they trust you enough to buy? If they found you today, would they trust you or keep scrolling? I want you to drop a yes in the comments if your answer is yes. And I want you to drop a trust in the comments if you're ready to start fixing this now. Okay? So now that we've covered trust, let's move on to secret number 2. This is all about creating a conversion content system that creates demand. All right. So I always say trust creates engagement, but demand creates conversions. All right. So you understand the importance of trust, but now we have to talk about how do we create demand, because that demand is what's going to allow you to convert. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They think that if they just post every day, right? If they post more, right? Eventually people are going to buy. But like I said, it's not about how much you post. It's about how it positions you and also your offer. All right. So here are some common mistakes that most people struggle with, why their content doesn't turn into sales. And again, as I go through these mistakes, just put a me in the comments if that's you. Mistake number 1 is posting for engagement instead of for conversions. So they chase likes and comments, but their content is not guiding people towards buying, right? And so that could look like, posting a lot of motivational quotes and getting people like, yes, girl, I feel you, but they're not buying. That could look like posting a lot of viral trends and relatable things, and people are like laughing and, oh, you got me, but they're not buying. That could look like posting a lot of broad advice that could get attention and virality, but not leading to sales. And this is all due to a lack of strategy. It's not about just posting the post, it's about posting to create connection and conversions, right? Mistake number 2, their content doesn't build desire for their offer. So they talk a lot about their product. I'm selling this course and this course and this course, but not about the transformation. And instead of showing why their offer matters, why their course is something that people need, right? They often talk about the features. So this course has 10 modules, but that doesn't create the emotional connection needed to create sales. The third mistake is they do not have a strategic sales flow inside of their content. So something you have to understand about content, and I'm going to show you how this works like real time. Every piece of content is random, which that's what usually people do, but that's not what's going to convert. Every piece of content should be taking people closer to buying. So from awareness, meaning making them aware, we call this problem awareness content, right? To having them nurtured, to having them engaged with you, and then to making a decision. And so every piece of content serves a purpose, right? And if you're missing a piece of that, then that is the reason why your content isn't converting. And because of these mistakes, this is the reason why your audience isn't connecting the dots, which means that there's no desire or demand for your products. And before I move on, I could actually use this training as an example. Like, I want you to just think about the email, the message, the maybe the reel, like maybe it's a story. What at the moment that you saw this training, what sparked something in you to make you register? What sparked something in you to make you show up? What sparked something in you to have you sitting here right now? It is something that I said that connected the dots, that made you feel like, wait a minute, maybe if I learned this system, I would get where I'm trying to go. And that is exactly what you have to create in your content. That is what demand feels like. Okay. So let's talk about why content alone won't sell. And I'm going to put this a different way. I want you to imagine that you're scrolling on Instagram, right? And you see someone who's posting consistently, but their content is all over the place. Or maybe it's a carbon copy of what everyone else is posting. And I want you to be all the way honest. Are you rushing to buy from that person or not? Put a yes or no in the comments. Because just like in real life, we do not purchase out of nowhere. We buy when we feel emotionally connected to the solution. And that is what's missing from most people's content strategy. So here's a real life example of what this looks like. So let's say, and this is what we're talking about with the conversion system, how every single piece is psychologically hitting something and creating demand for the person on the other end. So let's just say you're walking through the mall and you see a luxury handbag store. All right. You glance at the window display, but you keep walking. You're not thinking about buying a handbag today. Like you didn't go to the mall for that, right? Then later on social media, you see an influencer talking about that exact handbag that you saw in the mall and how it made her feel confident and powerful. Now it's on your radar. Then a few days later, you see a post about how that same bag fits perfectly with 5 different outfits. Now you're imagining yourself with it. And then a couple days later, you see a post that says limited edition only available for the next 24 hours. And suddenly you need that bag. That's demand creation. It just doesn't happen with one post. That you right? So like one post didn't make you buy. It was a sequence of content that built desire step by step. And that is how your business works. If your content isn't building desire, your audience won't feel like they need what you're selling. And that is the reason why you just don't post to post. You post strategically to position your content so it makes people want your offer. So remember what we talked about. Secret number 1, you need that trust. People need to see you as that solution. But then 2, they need to desire what you have. Because see, if you have 1 without 2, it wouldn't work. Because you could get 1, right? And you could get the trust and people would like you and you might grow. However, they won't buy. So you definitely need both. Okay. So let's do a quick test. All right. We're going to figure out, is your content creating demand? So I want you to think about your last 5 posts. Did they make people want your offer? Okay. Or did they just get likes without leading to DMs or sales? If it's a yes, go ahead and put a yes. And if you know that you need to work on this and you see how important this is because your content isn't making people feel like they need what you offer, then go ahead and put demand in the comments. Okay. All right, we got about 20 more minutes, but we're getting to the favorite part that I know all of you have been waiting for, which is secret number 3. So far, we've covered how to build trust and create demand within your content. But here's the thing. If you have to follow up with people manually, if you have to have all these conversations manually, being in the DMs constantly, honey child, you don't have a business, you have a second job. Okay? And so secret number 3 is about freeing up your time and getting you out of the constant grind. All right. Automation allows you to make consistent and predictable sales without being glued to your desktop all the time. And the goal isn't just about making money, it's about creating a system that works for you, even if you're offline. Right. And right now, a lot of people are doing this wrong. So let's look at some of the biggest mistakes that I see. Why aren't people automating their sales? Number 1, they're stuck in the old funnel mindset. And this was me. Okay. So if you, my veterans, y'all know what I'm talking about. This was me. Because if you've been online for any amount of time, I have been growing a brand online for 15 years now, almost 15 years. We build, old complicated sales funnels with landing pages and a million emails and all the follow-ups in the world. And it takes forever to set up, but it's no longer converting well. Another mistake is they think automation equals less personal touch. So they assume that if they automate, they'll lose that one-on-one connection with their audience, when in reality, automation allows them to be more available to the right leads. And this is another thing that I struggled with. Like, right after cancer. This was because remember I said I got diagnosed with cancer in 2020. And after I came back online, which was about in 2022, I went back to my old things that I've been doing, launching, doing my challenges, all the things. And I remember I did a retreat. My last retreat was at the end of 2022. And I was in Hollywood, Florida with my clients. And we were at the dining room having a conversation. And I was like, I'm really struggling because I feel like if I love my one-on-one interactions, one of my clients was asking me about when was I going to start hiring coaches, because up until then, I was the only coach, right? And so even though I had group programs, it was still just me showing up every weekend for our calls and all of that. And I was like, but I love it because it's me and it's the connection that I have with people. And it's so crazy that when I came back in 2023 and I started to build out my passive income systems and paying more attention to everything, I remember that conversation, and I remember the mindset that I had. Like, I really thought that if I had automated and I hired coaches and I started to step back, it would take away from things, right? And so if you're someone who's thinking about thinking like that, I totally get it, but that is a mistake. When it comes to passive income, it starts in your thinking, okay? Now, mistake number 3, they do not track their leads at all. All right. So put in the comments, if have you ever tracked your leads? Have you ever tracked the people who's engaging on your content? Have you tracked your followers? Are you starting those conversations? Usually people are not doing that. So what they're doing is just posting the content every day and then crossing their fingers and hoping that people DM them. And because of these mistakes, they're working harder than ever before instead of making consistent sales. So I want to show you a better way, because the old way is the complicated funnel, the endless landing pages, the long email sequence, the cold pitching in the DMs, the feeling exhausted from chasing leads. But the new way, this is what I call the see the cash system. And it is 3 steps, okay? So step 1 is captivate. And this is where your content, and we already talked about this, so you got this in the bag, your content attracts and pre-qualifies your leads. So if you're posting the content to develop the connection, to develop the trust, to create the demand, all what we just talked about, then you should be captivating people's attention and you should be getting them to become a lead. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how that looks in real time. Step 2, this is cultivate. So this happens in your DMs and in your automation. So automatically your system develops the relationship on autopilot. And then step 3 is convert. Your system delivers the right offer at the right time, all on autopilot. So no more chasing, no more guessing, just effortless, repeatable sales. So I want you to imagine that you post a reel, right? And it blows up. And suddenly you have 100 comments of people saying, I'm interested, right? If you're selling the old way, then that means you're manually responding to each of these people DMs, right? You try to remember who's actually interested or who's just asking questions, right? You're trying to keep leads in your head or maybe a spreadsheet. By the time you follow up with some people, they've lost interest, right? They start messaging you and then you wake up in the morning and they ghost you and you've just wasted so much time. But with the new way, your system DMs each person instantly, no delays. It sends them your freebie or your sales page automatically. It pre-qualifies them and nurtures them automatically. And by the time you check your phone, the sales have already happened. This is the difference between working harder and working smarter. So let me show you a real life example because we're going to make this super clear. Okay. So this right here is a post. This is what I call low maintenance content. So I have been doing this system. Like I said, I've taught so many people this, and we have done this with faceless pages and we've done this with face front pages. Okay. So this is one of my faceless pages. This is what I call low maintenance content. A video I don't even have to record with some sentences on the screen. That's it. Okay. And this is the hook. And I'm telling them, comment, teach me. This right here is the attraction. Okay. Almost immediately, people were commenting. I think overnight, I woke up to about 8 people in my DMs saying, teach me, right? My automated system responded to them, and it looks like this, right? See, teach me. My automated system responds to them. They click interested, right? I say, please reply with your email. Automatically, they give me their email, and The system delivers the product. And because I'm Niala, and I don't believe in automation doing everything because I love humanizing my brand and being personal with my people. In my calendar, 10 minutes every morning, I send a voice note to the people who responded overnight, just introducing myself and letting them know I'm here if they need any questions. That's it. This is the power of automation. So you literally use your existing page, or if you're launching a new page, we already talked about this in the beginning. This is only going to work if you have an Instagram page. You post low maintenance content every day, 3-second videos with a hook that gets people to comment. And then you leverage automation that turns those comments into sales. That's the system. That's the system, right? And so here we are. So at this point, you have two choices. You could keep doing things the old way, manually responding to DMs. You could keep guessing about why some posts don't convert and why others do. You could keep hoping people eventually buy, or you can use the See the Cash system and start making passive income while your system does the work for you, right? And so life after this system means you get to wake up to DMs full of interested buyers. Your content is doing the selling for you. Your automation is turning these conversations into cash. And this is exactly what I teach in the Silent Success Bootcamp. So let's talk about the big picture of passive income, because the reality is that it's not just about making money. It's about having a business that works for you, right? It's about not feeling stressed about what you have to do or want to do in your life. It's about spending more time with your family and traveling and working on the things that you actually love while having your automation do the work for you. That is what having a passive income system does for you. So let me ask you, why did you show up today? Because I'm sure you did not sign up for this by accident. You're here because you want something different. You're here because you want something better. You're here because maybe something isn't working in your business and this is what you needed to hear today, right? So I want to introduce you to the Silent Success Bootcamp. I'm going to take you through step by step the entire process. And this process will put you in a position to never feel stuck or confused again when it comes to earning passive income. So let's look at the Silent Success system one more time, because in the boot camp, this is where today we only talked about one step, but in the boot camp, you get the entire system that takes you from hustle and frustration to earning passive income instantly. The Silent Success Bootcamp is my step-by-step system to help you build trust, create demand, and automate your sales without feeling overwhelmed, to help you earn $50 a day selling digital products, even if you're starting from scratch. This is the exact system I use to help 1,500 plus women make passive income on Instagram, even if they have a small following. SSB breaks down everything into simple, easy to follow lessons. Whether you're just starting out, whether you've tried or failed before, you'll learn exactly what to do step by step. So here's what you get inside. You get over 100 bite-sized videos, lessons from branding to sales to automation. Every step is breaking down into simple, actionable lessons. You also get a done-for-you product suite. So remember in the beginning, we talked about products. If you already have a product, great. SSB will show you how to start getting those passive income sales. But if you don't have to wait to start earning right away, because you instantly get sellable digital products. No need to create your products unless you want to. You also get AI-powered tools and trainings, so you learn how to use AI to create content, to do market research, and to streamline your business. We're all about helping you build a business without the burnout, okay? You also get access to 4,000 plus aesthetic reels, because like we said, even if you don't want to record content, you could do this faceless. We literally give you the strategy, the captions, everything you need to deploy this system. You get the private community so you can connect with like-minded entrepreneurs for accountability, support, networking, and collaboration. And as always, you also are able to earn an additional income with the Silent Success Bootcamp. So again, if you want to join us, make sure that you go to the person who invited you to this training. You'll still be able to use the code that I'm going to give you. You'll still be able to use the offer, but I want you to go back to the person who invited you to this training or who sent this training to you and use their link, right? Because one of the things you will notice is that I'm not all about teaching. I'm also about creating that opportunity. So if you invite one person to come on this journey with you, guess what? The course is free. I'm about to show you how. But let's talk about what some students are saying. The system works. I took this course. I grew my groups from 0 to 80 members. 13 of those members became paying clients. The course is changing the way I see social media. No longer posted and hoping it sticks. There's a system. You don't know. Look, this client went from spending 3 to 4 hours a day on content creation to batching a month worth of content in one afternoon with our AI system. The system works. Save yourself time, energy, and money. The methodology is mind blowing. $2,000 in sales in like 2 days for a recipe book. The system works. All right. So here's my special offer as a thank you for you joining this training. I am offering you the entire Silent Success Bootcamp for just $97. Normally it's $197, but this offer is only available for 72 hours. So you're going to use the code VIP50 below this video or in the description, depending on where you are watching this at. You'll see the link for you to go over to the SSB sales page, but make sure that you use the code VIP50. And again, if someone sent this training to you, if someone invited you to this training, go back to that person, get their link so they can get the credit for you joining today. Okay. Here's what you're going to get. Just to make sure you know the complete Silent Success system, you're going to get the AI powered tools and automation and strategy. And you're also going to get the done for you content templates and reels, as well as a private community for support and accountability. But don't forget, this offer is only available for 72 hours. Now, before I leave you, let's talk about that deal. Thank you so much for rocking with me and staying to the end. As promised, I created a comprehensive prompt. When I tell you comprehensive, you literally, it's about 2 to 3 pages, but you're going to just plug your content into this prompt. You don't have to do anything, but just plug your content in, and it is going to audit your content piece by piece, and it's going to tell you exactly what's missing and what you need to do based on what we talked about in today's training. So that is what I mean when I say, whether you decide to join us in SSB or not, you need to start turning things around today. And hopefully this audit prompt will do that for you. When you use it and you repost the content after auditing, I want you to make sure you tag me when you start to get those results in. I want to know how this is working for you. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and leave them in the comments. This is my promise to you. Those of you who leave questions in the chat, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a video specifically for you, and I'm going to post it here on my YouTube channel so you can have an answer to your questions. It's specific to you, so make those questions good, all right? Again, thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope to see you in my next one.